Hey everybody, this is your girl, Miss Nicole Tyler. How are you all doing out there? This is just a live, it's a test because I'm trying to actually learn how to use my StreamYard. And let me tell you all, I had purchased the subscription to StreamYard, but I wasn't really using it. And I'm looking at all of my counterparts that's here in the sector, and they're doing such wonderful jobs with their videos. And I'm like, I bought this subscription and I bought this subscription to StreamYard, and I'm not even using it. I'm not getting the full benefits. So what I did, I went head on and unsubscribed to the payment of that because I was not getting my full usage of StreamYard. So now today, you all, this is just a test. I'm not even coming on camera, but I just wanted to point that out about StreamYard and how I'm trying to learn how to use it. I'm trying to take some time to learn how to get the maximum benefits of it. This is your girl, Miss Nicole Tyler. I won't be coming on camera. But what I wanted to talk to you all about was I've been keeping up here in the last couple of days with Tasha K. And I caught one of her videos this morning. I think it's the one where she's talking about Megan Stallion, and she's dating a good morning, Jerome, and she's dating a married man. And so I said, okay, I'm not really interested in Megan Stallion. I know she's a black female rapper. She's doing a great job. I know that she's also did a collab with Nicki Minaj, and that's great and dandy. But you all know my love of music goes back to the R&B days. I'm still in love with who am I in love with? I would say the OJs, Patti LaBelle's. I'm still in love with Stephanie Mills, Anita Baker, Whitney Houston. I'm still in love with those guys. Anybody from that era, from the 70s all the way down to maybe what 1990. I think maybe 1995. I think as far as going towards like the end of the 1990s, the music has not been that great. So I try to still listen to all of that great music. So I mean, I love Megan Stallion, and I think she's great, but I'm not really into her music. So in this video that Tasha K what she was talking about, she brought up the fact that Lisa Ray McCoy Ray husband, Michael Music, with her ex-husband, and how she was saying that Dwayne Martin had broke up their relationship. Now, if you've been okay, of course, if you're interested in black entertainment culture, and black entertainment as far as the history and the and the gossip, you will know they have been saying for years that Will Smith is gay. And I do believe that. I believe that he's actually just I believe he's bisexual. I'm not going to say gay. Some people say that's gay. I think that he is bisexual. I think Dwayne Martin is bisexual. I think Eddie Murphy is bisexual. I think Johnny Gill is bisexual. It's so many of our black entertainers that are bisexual. And so when I was listening to her talk about how Dwayne Martin had been with Will Smith for so many years, and how both of these guys are married to beautiful, prominent women, as far as Tisha Campbell's married to Dwayne Martin, Will Smith is married to Jada Pinkett Smith, and also Lisa McCoy Ray was married to Michael Missick, and how all of these men somehow get together. Lisa Ray was saying that Dwayne Martin had broke up their marriage with his cheating. But when I was listening to Tasha K, she was saying, yeah, he was cheating with other men, allegedly. I'll say allegedly. But it's not far fetched. It's not far fetched for me. Because you just don't have these things come out in the news. Oh, Eddie Murphy is with a transgender, and then it just magically disappears out of the news. No one is talking about it anymore because they pay for people not to talk about it because they want it to be taboo. And it was taboo. I would say it is taboo. People are surprised, but now as we get into the 2020 is coming up, people are just saying, oh, okay, oh, we've been knew that, it's old news. But a lot of people are still surprised about it. Now, when I was watching that, and I think I this movie has been on my mind for a while now. It's called Cover. I don't know if many of you all have watched Cover before. Cover, when I first saw it back in 2000, it came out in 2007, but I believe I watched it in 2008. Let me tell you all, when I watched Cover, I was mind blown. I was in shock. I was in my 30s, and you all know I've been single for so many years. I was single then too. And I was living in Las Vegas when I saw this movie. I was a nurse, a traveling nurse. I was making really good money in Vegas, and I still was out partying on the strip, having a great time. Even though no, I was not wanted far as black men because I was brown skinned. So often white guys would buy me drinks all the time. I'm just gonna tell the truth with that. But when basically I'm just saying I just wasn't really thinking about the black men being on the down low as they were. I don't think so many of them are today. But when I watched that movie Cover, I just could not believe what I was watching. So let me pull this up. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Now you all, when I saw when I saw this movie, you all, let me tell you, I was mind blown. Now this movie stars Vivica Fox, Leon, Roger Gouvenaire, Anjanou Ellis, and Razak Adati. When I saw this movie, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I don't know where I had been. Like sometimes it's almost like when people put stuff in my face that's around me and I don't see it. When I see it, like when I saw this movie, I just could not believe my eyes. I'm telling y'all, it's a very good movie. It's called Cover. Now, in this movie, the woman who is being asked the questions by Louis Gossett, she has shot her husband. I shouldn't tell y'all about. Well, anyway, I'm just telling you. I think this was Anjanou Ellis. She had shot her husband. I think she was married to Razak Adadi in this film. And what was going on in this movie, y'all, Leon, if you all know Leon, he's played not Richard, Little Richard. He was in Ain't Got No Money, Ain't Got No Fancy Cars. He played in that one. Um, Nothing but love for you, baby. He played in that. He's married to the young lady that plays on the Real Housewives. I mean, he was married to her. They have the daughter. Um, I don't know why I didn't write this stuff down because I know these things, words go out of my head, these people's names. But Leon, he plays in it. And what was going on in this movie is these prominent black men. They all are very educated. They're gay men, homosexual men, and at that time, I guess they just couldn't come out and tell everybody we're gay, because it was just seen. I guess it seemed to be a lot of black women and men. We come from the Christianity background, and if you are a Christian, if you read the Bible, it just tells you do not, do not, do not. Um, if you're a man, do not fornicate with a man. If you're a woman, do not fornicate with a woman. That is what the Bible is strictly says. These things. That's what it says. And so I guess back in those days, you just could not tell anybody. This movie came out in 2007. You couldn't tell anybody you're gay. So these men in this movie, um, they're a group of men. They're prominent, educated. They all are wealthy. And what they did was they got married. They got married. They had children. They had beautiful families. And what they were doing was they were still going out on business trips, sleeping around with each other. And their wives did not know why they weren't needed or wanted, or why, weren't they having sex like normally, or they know that there's a disconnect with their husband, but they just can't put their they just can't put their finger on it. They're going to church and everything. This movie was so deep. You all have to watch this movie. So anyway, I was mind blown when I watched it for the first time. But if I seen it today, I'm not. This is what goes on all the time. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to y'all about this movie Cover. The women, when what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, that people are saying I'm still homophobic and things like that. What I was saying was Black women in America, we go through so much, and still at the end of the day we end up supporting whatever cause is out there. And I was just saying that our Black men need to praise us and worship us, give us compliments, maybe not worship us. I see worship as a different term than you all see worship. But what I'm basically saying is they need to respect us, put us first sometimes, even with our feelings, and let not be disrespectful towards us. Yeah, we're gonna support you if you want to live their lifestyle. But at the end of the day, there needs to be some type of accountability when it comes to a man marrying a woman, having children, and knowing that you're gay and this is not what you really want, and that you're putting yourself first. You're saying you love God, but yet you're putting yourself and your needs first. You're not thinking about God, you're not thinking about your children. So, anyway, all of that came from listening to Tasha K talk about Will Smith, talking about Dwayne Martin. Have they been in a long relationship for years? Both Jada Smith know and Tisha Campbell know. She was saying that's why Will Smith loaned Dwayne Martin the $1 million to help him save his home. And so also, I was looking on YouTube and I found this interview. It's called Sisters Speaking Out About Men on a Down Low. So let me see if I can pull that up for you all.
I'm Jerome Williams, Operations Systems Analyst at Wells Fargo.
My name is Jennifer Rollin, I'm Marketing Coordinator.
And my name is Anthony Robinson. I'm a student master's degree program.
Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all being here. I actually want to open up real quick with a story that was in the book, where the author runs into a young man, or a young married man, and they end up talking later after church and finding out that they both were living double lives, being on the DL. And they've made a great friendship, and he stayed around to make his wife trust his friend. And it ended up that he, with his lover, contracted the HIV virus. And instead of telling his wife about his double life, because obviously he would be exposed at this point, he decides, and he and his friend decide that we're going to say that it was a prostitute, that he was on a trip and that he had one night of indiscretion and weakness and please don't leave him. And when they brought this back to the church, the interesting thing was everyone said to pray for him and stand by your man, which to an extent I understand and agree with, but the fact was that if she had known that it was an actual man that he had contracted the disease from, would she have stayed? In the story that he states, she actually stayed. They stayed in the relationship. They had a baby on the way. She was 6 weeks pregnant at the time. The way he found out, he went to get an insurance policy and get it increased, and they denied him. And that's how he found out he had contracted the disease. And so it's interesting to me that 13 years later, after Invisible Life, written by Elin Harris, that this has come up again. So it seems like it's a topic that we want to talk about, and then we leave it alone because it's being sensationalized. So one thing I want to talk to Anthony, I want to address with you as being a member of the homosexual community,
Gay community.
the gay community. Is that a term that a lot of people do not appreciate?
When you're talking about homosexual, you're talking about someone's sexual preference. Gay community is talking about the gay community as a society, how society looks at them. So there's a difference there in how we want to be perceived.
Okay. Well, as a member of the gay community, how common is this? Are these books, to make a quick buck, are they blowing this out of proportion? Is Elin Harris and J.L. King and other authors, are they just taking this to get us to go out and buy their books and or scare us?
I wouldn't put Elin Harris in the same category as I would put King.
Why is that?
Because King is only making money, and King did not actually write that book. He had a ghostwriter, a Hollywood writer who actually wrote the book. So I'm not putting those two in the same category.
Okay.
But in the gay community, this is nothing new. We've known about it for centuries. This is part of our life, especially when you're talking about in the African American community. African American community do not accept homosexuality. Do not want to wake up to the fact that this is part of our life. This is who we are, and it is in our community. The white community have taken this. They have led in every aspect of advocating for equal rights. They have also been able to come together as one to come up with the fight against AIDS. The white community was a forerunner for this. They actually got funds together, lobbied Congress for HIV and AIDS drug testing, but the African American community had just sat back and thinking of this as just being a white epidemic.
So we're still in the closet.
We way deep in the closet
and not trying to deal with it.
No, we're not, and we notice the fact when you use the story about the church. You know, this is just ridiculous, but you got more preacher in the church or undercover.
And that was what's interesting about reading is that he had several stories about pastors that he ended up meeting on circuits that were living that double life, but yet when they got into the pulpit, it was definitely the fire and brimstone thing against homosexuality.
And that's one of the things that I'm curious about too. When you tell that story, it's like, okay, if these guys were two guys that were in the closet, so to speak, then, you know, how is it that they got to talking enough about this to realize that they were coming from the same place?
Oh, to be able to identify.
Well,
from what was in the book, from what he stated, is that there is just that look, the holding your eyes as a man to looking at another man for too long, and able to actually, when they exchange phone numbers, why are you giving me your card if I didn't ask for it? Type of I guess communication. And so that's what I was going to say.
Well, you're absolutely right. We know. And I used the example when I was speaking to you earlier about I was just doing some studying in the library, and a guy with his wife sitting across another monitor from me, and he started up a conversation with me. And instantly I knew where the conversation was going. And again, gave me the card. I said, hey, if you never asked him for any help, never asked him for anything. Here's my card. Why don't you call me? We'll get together, this and that. You know.
It's just something that, you know, it's just like an instinct.
You know.
Well, speaking to that,
Everybody's
like,
it's a difference between networking when you're exchanging cards because you have something. It's almost exchange theory. They have something that you want,
right,
business wise and everything else.
Right.
But when you're talking about trying to make a hookup or get a hookup, you know the difference.
So in your situation, there was no reason for this guy
There was no
to
reason.
give you his card.
No reason.
No
There was no. I was
conversation.
minding my own business on my own computer, doing my own research.
Wow. How does when you think about that, especially being a woman, and one thing I will say, that's not something I would have ever thought of when I was dating. I would have never put it into my mind, even though I have enough common sense to know that it happens. I would have never said, well, I might have to think twice about this, brother. And I know that there's more women out there like me, and I mean think twice in the sense I always had an application. You had to apply, and I needed to know you, but I didn't know that I would have to go that far into it. So if this just happened to you the other day, it's got to be common. And how do we as women, how does that make you feel, Jennifer, when you think about that? When you're just like, wow, okay.
It makes me feel like that. Okay, that's interesting. I agree. I do have a little application process that everybody has to go through.
That's right.
But, and thinking about it, I don't think it goes anywhere near deep enough to figure out exactly what this man is all about from meeting him for 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
So to look at somebody and meet them at a bar or meet them at a restaurant or even at church, it's not my first instinct to go, oh, I wonder if he likes girls and guys.
Right. It's not something that you think about.
It's not the first thing that pops in your mind.
Well, and I also wondered, and there may be something to it and there may not be, but as previously dating men, looking at it in the sense of, does this affect you? Have you all ever heard of women speak about, okay, I have to be careful? Even women that you either knew and that were out dating, was it something that ever came up as a topic?
For me personally, I was actually out with someone once, went out like 2 or 3 dates. It's a woman I was really interested in. And I didn't, I wasn't aggressive. I was real courteous. Gentleman, walked her to the door. Wasn't overly aggressive at all. Didn't try to kiss or anything. About a week or 2 later, comes back. She was kind of iffy because I wasn't all up on.
Oh, you weren't
And
aggressive.
she had that idea that I possibly like men and women. I was like, no.
Wow.
It's not like that. So that kind of blew me away, and I said, okay, wow. So it's like this out here. It's getting,
It's getting a little hectic.
yeah. So,
Right.
but it just kind of blew me away that she would actually think that.
Mm-hmm.
It would even cross her mind because I guess nowadays it's more commonplace for men to be more aggressive. And, so I really didn't understand why she was coming at me like that. But after I talked to a few of my buddies, it was like, oh, this is probably why right here.
Really?
See, it's always been the opposite way for me from hearing a woman's perspective, hearing about how women come onto them, but never too many experiences about, men that they've been involved with being with other men. So maybe
So
they
it's
were
not-
in the dark, if, who knows.
Not something that was necessarily talked about. Do you ever hear other men talking about that issue? And I don't mean in the sense of, when we're dealing on the verge of homophobia, but I just mean that men that have discussed or maybe even said that, talked about this issue. Is it even something that men talk about at all?
Not really.
Oh, well, I've talked about it after seeing it on the show.
Okay.
The author of the book on the show, on the
Okay.
Oprah show.
Okay.
I didn't know it was so widespread. I guess I was kind of in the dark too before then. So it raised some questions and start looking at people differently. I don't know.
Sure.
But why?
Just because I was.
Because that's the problem now. Is because I'm not gonna say we because I'm open. I'm out. But guys that are in the closet, they get the same reaction. And if you had a best friend, he may not be able to come to you and say, man, I got something to tell you, because he's not comfortable enough with the reaction. And that's what hey, I got to butch up. And I'm sorry, your name again? Calvin made a good point. Guys that are just nice are already labeled as being, or perceived to be something that they're not.
Okay.
But when you butch up on them, and the biggest queen in the world, RuPaul, could butch up and get a lady, and she would have no doubt. But you can't be yourself, and that's another thing. Not being able to be yourself, where you can't be honest with a woman, and that's what gets a female in that trap.
Right. Not being able to have that.
Because a man is not able to express himself in a way that is acceptable in our society. So if he meets someone, if I met her for the first time, I'm nice, and I told I'm nice to you. I talk to you, but I have a point of where I'm going to go with this. I already know as far as I'm going to go. But I've been in a situation where the female has aggressively pursued me, knowing that my interest was not in her in a sexual way.
But she pursued you anyway.
Did she know you were
Gay.
gay?
Yeah, you can say it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. You know, see, that's what I was.
That's what because they think they can change it. And then I'm just saying they press. So
That's something I don't understand too. If a woman thinks she can change a man.
Well, she
You
can't
know
know
why?
whether he's heterosexual or homosexual.
You know what?
Think about it.
I mean, if a woman, some women, like you said, do think that they can change a gay man. I'm like, thinking to myself, why would you want to be with a gay man? I mean,
Right.
I don't know, but I don't think it's something that you can just turn on and turn off.
Right.
Right.
It doesn't go away.
This is it. You heard about those that say they're ex-gays. The right person hasn't come along. That's all it is.
And that's all that is. Yeah. Well, with that topic, talking about communication, I think that is part of our issue. And I want to get these statistics out right quick so that our viewers know, because this is a good conversation. But the leading cause of HIV-infected women was heterosexual sex in 2003. And the second leading cause was intravenous drug use, which used to be the opposite. So it has now flipped. And then also, according to a recent study of HIV-infected and non-infected African-American men who sleep with men, they call it MSM, ladies. So if you see MSM, that's what that means. Approximately 20% of the study participants reported having had a female partner in the last 12 months. And the last statistic that really caught my attention is they did a study of HIV-infected persons. 34% of African-American men who sleep with men reported having sex with a woman, even though only 6% of African-American women reported having sex with a bisexual man. So that means that you are not in the know. That's what that is saying. These women that were infected were not in the know that they were dealing with a man who was bisexual. And I also want to point out the fact that let's not make this be an issue where women are contracting AIDS from only homosexual men. It is not a homosexual disease. It's just the fact that now we're dealing with a whole nother piece of the puzzle that is helping spread the disease through our community. So realize that if you have unprotected sex, period, you have a risk of contracting the AIDS virus no matter who it is. You need to be protected. And I think that's our issue. Why is it so easy to just not be protected? He made a good comment in the book, or a good point in the book, where he states that if you have to stop and put on a condom, you have to think about what it is that you're doing. Being that I've never stopped and put on a condom, is that the case? When it's time to do that, and I'm all personal and in your business, but when it's time to do that, does it require you to actually think and assess the situation?
I would say yes. A lot of people say, you're in that moment, you don't want to ruin that moment.
Right. That's not
But
the moment.
if you really think about it, you can ruin your life.
Absolutely.
Instead of taking that few seconds to
do what
reach
you
under
need
the
to
bed,
do.
reach in your little
That's
secret
right.
spot.
You strategically place it. Right? You don't gotta walk all over the place and live. Yeah. I think that is so interesting. And it's women. I think if women requested it more of men, it wouldn't be as widespread as it is, especially among us.
Well, that's a request, insist.
Right, absolutely.
But I have run into women that request that you do not use it.
What?
And I really don't understand why they would go that route when they know what's going on right now.
And they're just saying, no, you know,
What?
the excuse I can't feel anything. And the man excuse is that you should be. I was like, that's a man excuse. What are you saying?
And then red flags should go up when the woman said don't use a condom. Red flags should go up on you that hey, you may be an angry black woman trying to get back at you.
Absolutely. Trying to, you know, do what the men
If
do.
they gave it to me, I'm giving it to somebody else. And people
I
have
mean, anyone who didn't, I mean, who would have said that didn't use one.
Did you have anyone that was emphatically like, look, you need to use one?
I mean, that's not an issue because, you know, I make sure
I did.
that's the thing. So.
Well, I think that's what is interesting. We're gonna close, but I think the end of it all says that it's all about responsibility. And if you're not gonna protect yourself, then you are leaving yourself out there. You know, and you can't go and point the finger, even if this man did not tell you about his prior sexual history, whether he's heterosexual or homosexual, because you should know that, regardless of what their sexual preference are. You should know their sexual history before you decide to let it go. I think the interesting thing that came out of it was that the traditional way of being involved with someone is what has been lost. The, you know, taking your time, getting to know the person, making sure that you're comfortable with that person, being able to talk about sex with that person has left. So if we return back to what we used to, or at least were told to do, then maybe we can put a dent into what is happening to us as Black women, because we are notorious for not taking care of ourselves. So I want to thank all of you for coming. I think it was a great discussion. I wish we had more time, because I know we could sit here and talk for a long time. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to email us at blacktvonline.com. My name is Anika Foster. Protect yourself and protect others. Have a good night.
Hey everyone, did you all enjoy that? This is Miss Nicole Tyler. You know, I was, like I said, I was listening to Tasha K, and she was talking about the Will Smith, Dwayne Martin, Lisa Ray, and how their husbands all were on the down low or bisexual, and they all married women. And you all know, when you're married, when women are married, you all know we don't protect ourselves. We don't protect ourselves. We're thinking our men are monogamous, and we think and we believe in, you know, because we got married in the eyes of God, we thinking that these men love us and that they are not out cheating with other men. So we don't use protection with our husbands. And if you watch the movie Cover, I definitely implore everybody to watch that movie Cover. It is so good, you all. And then if you all watch it, we can come back and do a review of that movie. It was so good. It came out in 2007, and I watched it in 2008 when I lived in Las Vegas. And I even have the movie here somewhere in my library. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being here, and I wanted to just show you all, you know, what I had picked up, saw online, and also I wanted to bring you all that trailer of Cover. I want you all to watch it. And if we do have, you know, women out there who are in relationships, and I want you to protect yourselves, because we just don't know. But I think that it's not just you waiting 90 days or 180 days to sleep with somebody. It's just that you just have to be honest. You have to be honest. He has to be honest with you. um and even if you're lesbians, you have to be honest with yourselves, honest with your partners, and get that information. Ask them, have you been with someone unprotected? Do you know if he has any diseases, AIDS, herpes, gonorrhea, anything? You need to know. We need to know so that we don't have these diseases and pass them on. So that's what it's about. I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all for putting up with me with this StreamYard. I had to go ahead on and unsubscribe from the StreamYard and all that it offered, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, y'all. And I'm looking at Heidi, she's here. I'm looking at Sean. I'm looking at everybody who's doing so great with their StreamYard. And here I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I went head on and canceled mine, got my little $25 because it's 25 a month. So anyway, I thank you all for being here. I am your girl, Miss Nicole Tyler. It would be great if we all in the sector can get this out, and we can just start talking about protecting each other and being honest with each other. We are going into a new year, and we want to be here. We do not want to be depressed. We do not want to get into a dark space where we can't come out of it, and we do things to ourselves. We have families. We have people who loves us. And also we love you. We have fans out there in the YouTube world that loves us and rely on us to make them smile and to inspire and entertain them. So we want to be here for them as well. My name is Miss Nicole Tyler. Thank you all for being here, and you all have a great, great, great rest of your Saturday. Mwah, mwah.